I'm gonna be objective here, right? Because like I said, I wanted to just come here and tell Jon Kent fans to just get the fuck over it. I had half a mind to do that, but I'm also gonna throw blame on DC. I put out a video a couple years ago about DC, how they were wishy-washy with Batgirl. They didn't know if she was gonna be Oracle or if she was gonna be Batgirl. Pick a fucking lane. Pick a fucking lane. As much as I don't like Batgirl stands, I can understand a little bit of the frustration there. But I think what DC did with Jon Kent, I can understand the frustration there because they aged him up, right? But also at the same time, they kept giving Jon Kent fans false hope because they had Tomasi and Jimenez come back and do a whole slew of Supersons books, right? Mm-hmm. Then on top of that, recently, I think it was like about a year or two ago, you had Jeremy Adams on The Flash bring back the Supersons for one issue. Then, like Tevi is talking about, they just did some shit with Shazam where you had young Jon Kent. So now, as much as I want to tell Jon Kent fans to shut the fuck up, it's not fair for me to tell them to shut the fuck up because DC keeps giving them false hope. You see what I'm saying? And then also, let's toss this in here as well, right? Dark Crisis. Remember that one random one shot? It was because Superman was trapped in his world and in his own little Superman bubble, and then it was something about him missing John's childhood. King wrote it. King wrote it. It went under the radar.
That's right.
So you have all that, right? I personally think, still to this day, that DC, the ship has sailed for Jon Kent. But at this point, if you are gonna stay with Jon Kent, stop reminding them of the old Jon Kent. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. I don't want to see Jon Kent as a little boy in Shazam. I don't want to see Clark reminiscing on old times anymore. I don't want to see Jeremy Adams or whoever go to some different world and bring back. I don't want to see it. If you want people to stop the backlash, put your big boy pants on and make a move and stick to it. Because you know what else happened right around the time when Jon Kent got aged up? Alfred got his neck fucking snapped.
I am still to this day shocked that they have not unrung that bell yet.
But here's what DC did. They didn't go back and was like, oh, remember when Alfred was alive? No.
Well, I'm not gonna say that. You got a bunch of fucking stories. Yeah, they're like one shots of stuff, or not minis, but with Alfred as kicking alive and kicking. Like
it's like it's flashbacks. It's like, and then I think of Batman versus Robin. We thought he was alive, but he wasn't. But the point I'm trying to make with that is just like Batman, with the Batman family, we saw them progress because of Alfred being dead, right? Look at what happened with Nightwing. Nightwing done transformed Bloodhaven on behalf of the money Alfred left. But Damian pretty much sabotaged the Teen Titans and said, fuck y'all, over what happened with Alfred. And then he's been on a run since then. We don't get that stellar Williamson's Robin run, which was still, I think that's like that might be a top 10 run. We don't get that if Alfred isn't dead. Look at everything that happened with Bruce. Look at everything that happened with, like Barbara and everybody else. Because DC decided, despite AJ just said, the couple of times he brought it up, but the quality of the writing since then, it propelled. Ever since Jon Kent got aged up, it's been so stagnant, and now we're starting to see it up on an upswing. Versus if they actually were consistent after he got aged up, I don't think we'd be here. If the writing was good, we'd be fine. I like Nicole Maines. Like I said, me and AJ and Quentin, we're gonna sing Nicole Maines' praises because she needs praise. She deserves the praise. What I think would satisfy people is if, all right, let's just say after this, Jon Kent is in a place where we could actually see some growth. People's anxiety would be a little alleviated if like a bigger name writer was to pick up that piece right there, maybe properly address the age up and then do some wild shit with Jon. You know what I'm saying? Address what happened in a good, meaningful way, and then we take that and we propel Jon. But as for taking him and bringing him back down to just a kid, what's the point? So what? Just so he can fuck around with Damien again? Because that's the only thing I see. We're gonna have that conversation too. Every single time people talk about de-aging Jon, the first is, oh, let's do Supersons again. Bro, there's a whole Omni. AJ got it. The
Thick
Omnis
boy Omni too.
Thick boy Omni. Like, are we talking like Infinite Crisis thick, or are we talking like the first half of Grant Morrison thick?
Like Longbow Hunters Part 1 thick.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. All right. Ooh. Okay. The point I'm trying to make is that there's a big thick boy Omni of Damien and Jon running around. Go pick it up and then run it back again. Because there's no way you're going to run through that whole entire Omni in one sitting. You have
888 pages. Good.
You got 800. Oh, does that include the stuff that Tomasi did after?
Because I know well, they did a reprint, so that second edition may. I've got the first.
Okay.
So if that's the case, then the second edition will be longer than the first one.
Okay. So, because for me, and this is where I'll entertain it, y'all got to give me something more than just doing Supersons again. We can't do that again. Damien has grown. And on that note, yo, we need to stop having conversations about bringing the Teen Titans back too. All right? It's not happening. Give it up. Pack it up. Teen Titans not coming back. DC can't do Teen Titans. And again, DC has did Supersons already. So somebody has to give me something better than just I want Jon Kent to go back just to fuck around with Damien. Because Damien, he don't got time for that no more. Damien just went on a grand journey to Lazarus Island. He's back. He's on good terms with his dad. Why the fuck should he be hanging out with Jon anymore? Why? Can somebody give me a compelling reason why? No, thank you.
Not at this point. They're in two different places in their lives wise. Like I said, Damien's debating whether or not he even still wants to be. I mean, he's already said he don't want to be Robin, but he's debating, whether or not he wants to be a hero at all. I just think they're in two very different places, and you really haven't seen much of their friendship in the past few years. I think there was a issue when he came back right after he had gotten aged up, and
they barely interacted in Dark Crisis.
Yeah,
barely. It was more just like, oh, hey, what you doing over there? I'm doing this. You doing that? Bye. That's all it was. Tevia said, what about Jon Kent and his little 10-year-old self reunite with Kathy, aka Beacon, his friend? All right, so where's the long term? So is it just Jon Kent piling around with his little friends? Like, it for me, for this to work, it gotta be more than just Jon Kent running around doing shit.
I mean, even if they did do that, those kids wouldn't be the same age. They wouldn't be as old as Jon, but time has progressed in universe. Like,
yeah,
like we see Damien driving now, so he's what, 16 at least, maybe 15 if you're just saying a learners, but so that's at least 2 to 3 years in universe time. I mean, when you're that young, bro, 2 to 3 years, you have a whole new friend group by that point.
Yeah. So it's like the only option DC has right now is just put him in a spot and actually commit to progressing him. Because I'm not mad at people saying, oh, I don't care about Secret Six, Jon Kent and Secret Six. But you would care if somebody like Williamson or Wade or Snyder came and said, you know what, hold on. I got an idea for this little nigga right here. I have an idea. Let's cook. You'll care. I guarantee you if they say DC Comics presents the war for Superson or some shit like that. Because he finally goes ape shit. We there. We there. We in attendance. And then Jeff says we never got to experience Jonathan Samuel Kent Superboy child. Bro, there's a whole Omni. To Peter Tomasi, we have to be fair here. I get it. The Tomasi run got cut short. I understand. Bendis is coming. That fucked up a lot of things. But did that too not have an omnibus? Okay, it has Superman 1 to 25, 27, 28, 33 to 39, 42, 45, Superman Annual 1, Superman Rebirth 1, Superman Special 1, Action Comics 975 to 976, 1000, Supersons 11, 12, and Teen Titans 1975 and 9. Okay, I think it's fair to say, is that too not a good amount of time? On top of the Super Sons Omni. When you put both of those together, is that not a good amount of material? That's enough to feed a family. And then some. That's where I stand on this whole thing. All right, now, I want to say this. If you don't care about Jon Kent at this point, that's fine. Me, AJ, and stuff, we're not saying DC did anything. We're not agreeing 100% with his directions, right? But at some point, you gotta just get over it. Steph, what do you think?
I mean, I don't know. It really just does stem from what you said before, where it's just like there's been like a lack of commitment. I feel like the name, right? Like, because this is Superman's like literal kid.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's just kind of like inherent stature to that, and I think there's probably a lot of stress when it comes to like how to do anything with him, just because of the fact that, like, you know, you're gonna have people who, like, you know, are willing to sit down and like embrace an idea and then, like, you know, evaluate it on like its own terms or whatever. But there's also going to be people who are like, if you do something that they don't approve of, that they think that this character wouldn't do, or they think is inappropriate for like the brand or whatever, they just kind of immediately write it off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think like being Superman's kid is that, like, you know, again, there's like a stature to it where it's kind of like you do have to do it, quote unquote, correctly, where you do have to really think about how you approach him, and, you know, doing something that could be, you know, a mistake is, you know, something you can't really go back on. So this, you know, aging him thing, you know, it's probably one of those things where it's like they're scared of commitment,
Mm-hmm.
because then if they do something that people just kind of inherently don't approve of, they can't walk it back.
Yeah.
But, you know, and I think it really has gotten to the point where they just have to do something. And it's also just the fact that it's like, again, it's Superman's kid. You can't literally do nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they don't know what to do, but they feel compelled to put him in stuff because his name is so his name and his branding and his you know, his relation to, you know, like who he's related to and whatever. You know, it's kind of like you can't ignore him. They feel compelled to operate on this idea that, like, you can't ignore him. You have to do something, but they're also just too scared to do anything.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, it's like what you were saying. It's just like, you do just have to bite the bullet and do something, and just commit to it and see how it goes. And if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. It's just the stress is getting to them because like they're stuck in that position where they feel like they can't ignore him, but they're getting cold feet whenever they do anything. Because it's just, you're fucking up these superheroes' kid. That's like a big, you know, optics wise, that's a big fuck up, right?
There's nothing wrong with, let's put this out there. Let's just say Secret Six, the whole thing, it doesn't work out, which I doubt, because I think the whole thing with Secret Six will work out. But let's just say it doesn't work out. It's okay if we just don't, if Jon is just regulated as a background character.
Yeah.
At least then, young Jon Kent fans won't be, they won't be agitated every single time something new comes out. He's just in the background. Whenever it's time for Superman family to get together, hey guys, I'm here. And then that's it. We don't have to, not every single character needs to have something going on. What happened? Look what happened to Tim Drake. We ain't see shit from him, except when it's time for the Bat family to come together. And look at the years that he had. That's fine. It's okay. Things happen. But I do want to address this. What about Wally West? Didn't we have the exact same situation with him a long time ago? There was a coordinated effort to progress from Wally. After Heroes in Crisis, we had Flash. Well, hold on.
We also had much more people bitching and moaning on the internet about Wally's direction after Heroes in Crisis, which I still maintain was, I'm not going to say fine, but it wasn't the end of the world like some people wanted to be. You could have redeemed the character without saying, "Oh no, Wally would never do that. Here's why it wasn't him." All right, fine, whatever.
Like and even then that took a while because
years, bro. Like
it. Okay, the Wally West thing, right? I liked Flash Forward. I liked what Scott Lobdell did with Flash Forward, and then I liked where he ended up at the end of like Death Metal, and I like what Jeremy Adams ended up doing. But the problem with the Wally West stuff was just like one day it was Wally freaked out, had a mental crisis, and killed somebody. Then the next time we revisited, it was Thawne who was in his ear. Then the next time they were doing too much. Oh, what was it? Savitar.
What was kept the one going back to that well over and over and over and over
like,
again, bro.
It didn't need that, right? And what we got, Flash Forward was fine. Mm-hmm. What Jeremy Adams initially did was fine. And the same thing just needs to happen with Jon. All right, now we got Quentin in the room. Quentin, we're talking about should Jon Kent fans let go of de-aging?
But it's not going to be hard to put the metaphoric genie back in the bottle, because you attach them to a certain fan base, if you're being honest, and if they're gonna feel like betrayed if you wipe it away, erase what we built so far, right? So I don't think you're gonna get that. I think you might well just enjoy the Super Twins at this point. Enjoy the small moments like the Shazam issue you got this week or last week. Enjoying those small moments like that are probably gonna be all that you really get. I mean, maybe 10 years, 20 years from now, you could do some kind of de-aging thing if they don't do nothing with them. But I think as in presently constructed DC universe, you kind of got to keep Jon Kent where he's at, and explore a different path for him, similar to like what we've already we've discussed privately. But now that's really my quick rundown on that.
Yeah, so Quentin just gave his quick thoughts, but yeah, so at this point, I don't know what we could do. I don't know what we can do. There's so much content that's out there, and they even were nice enough to throw. I forgot about that Supersons movie that came out. How many years ago was that? Like 2 years ago. I forgot all
about that too. Yeah, man, y'all got a whole movie out of it. Not that a movie. Don't get new films, whether it's animated or not, is irrelevant. Y'all got a movie.
I got a movie. A movie, bro. Shit.
I forgot all about that. Y'all got Omni's movies.
Bro.
Man, if y'all don't take that and run.
What? Hey, yo, that's more than Tim Drake got when he turned bisexual. Hey, how many issues did that shit last, bro? 6?
5 or 6. One of them, like. Yo. That also speaks to them not having plans with stuff, man. Like here's the if y'all come up with any new status quo change for a character, okay, give me your 5-year plan after.
Yeah, bro.
You might not even be the one writing it, but I need to know that we have a roadmap that we want this character to follow. Because Tim Drake is, bro, the last few years, now that I think about it, first off, they ended my Robin run for that shit, which, all right, fine, whatever. But then you gave him 5 issues, and I'm tripping. Tim's run lasts about 10 issues. I'm tripping, but still, this is at one point. Well, many people still consider him the most popular Robin. Had a run over that one, I think, over 200 issues or 200 issues between two runs between his Robin and Red Robin runs, but still, he can't even. You don't even have enough of a plan to get him to 12 issues now. Like, all right.
His first issue didn't even make it in the top 50, bro.
Yes, it seems like I remember that.
Bro.
You know how hard it is for a new #1 to pull that off,
bro. At least, listen, say what you want about Jon, bro. At least almost every single book that Jon has been in since the age
all
of
his issues were in the top.
They were in the top 50 to 100, bro.
Yeah.
So you say what you want. I get it. Y'all mad, but hey, bro.
But also, as much shit as people give Tom Taylor, he's a much better writer than Megan Fitz.
Oh, of course, 100%. Yeah. So it's like, hey, bro.
90-day writing abilities.
So yeah. So I think we do have. I think there is somewhat of a plan here with mains. And I'm willing at this point. I'm willing to see what happens. If I'm one of like the few people that's checking it out, that's fine. I have no problem. I'm gonna enjoy the story for what it is at this point.